afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Good, good. My name is Denise, and today, before we get into the actual Web TA workshop, the policy and procedure training that you have to complete before getting TA, we're going to discuss with you a little bit about online learning, okay? Because majority of the military do online learning because it's very convenient for them. So for us, we're going to talk about online learning. What we're going to focus on is the advantages and disadvantages of using online learning, and you being able to tell based on what we discussed if this is the best way for you to take classes, okay? Now if you find that online learning might not work for you, it's okay, because you can still use the traditional learning in the classroom. But if you still want to take online classes after this lecture, and you don't think you're going to do that well, we'll speak with you further in counseling after this, so that we can at least give you some more pointers on how to help you be more successful, okay? So before we start, does anyone have any question at all? No? Okay, great. Again, my name is Denise, and I work with the Navy College office, and I am an education counselor, and it's my job to make sure that when you get started on your degree program, that TA is going to be ready for you. The program that you're enrolled in is the best program for you, which brings us to online learning. Now, most of you want to do online learning. We're going to count how many of you are going to be using online learning. Okay, so at least 2 of you will be. Now, the military requires that everyone fills out an assessment for online learning. So before you get started on the assessment, let's talk about some of the disadvantages and the advantages of online learning. First of all, when it comes to online learning, one of the advantages of online learning, and I like that, is you work at your own pace, correct? You're able to go online, do your classes as it is convenient for your schedule, and you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, you know, I can't get to my class today, because even if you can't get to the class today, there's always tomorrow you can make it up as long as your assignment isn't due. So one of the biggest advantages for military is the advantage of being able to take classes, you know, set up their own time when they're going to attend class. Now, with online learning, you have a 24-hour access, so you're able to go online whenever you want. So keep that in mind. So if you work night shift, you can go to class in the daytime. If you work day shift, you can go to class in the nighttime, because it's your schedule. Online learning also gives you flexibility to work on your coursework that meets with your schedule. You can study anytime you want to. Most people like to hear this part. You can dress any way you want to. How many schools can you actually go to class dressed in your PJs, right? With online learning, you have the option of going to school in your PJs. So that's one of the advantages a lot of people like with online learning. And it also gives you more room for family time. Some people, when they do online learning, believe it or not, it becomes a household class instead of that individual class, because they poll people for their thoughts and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that makes it so flexible and easy for military personnel to use online learning. With online learning, if you don't already have it, one of the advantages of it, it teaches you self-discipline. Now, when you first started, this is going to be your first time using online learning, you're going to find that if you don't stay on top of your classes, if you are a procrastinator, you're going to definitely have to change that, because you have to have self-discipline when it comes to online learning, because you are going to be required to submit classwork at the time it's required. It's hard for you to procrastinate because it piles up on you, and then you might not be able to give it the best effort. You might not be able to read the chapters the way you should read the chapters. So you want to make sure you self-discipline when you're doing your online classes, okay? Now there's some disadvantages as well that goes along with it. First of all, it requires more time to do online classes. What do you mean by more time? You're going to spend half your time on the computer typing responses. In addition to the posting that you have to submit, you have to respond to your classmates' own posts, and then there's papers. Online learning, believe it or not, actually has more work to do than if you sit in a classroom, so keep that in mind, okay? And you have to have great time management skills. If not, that becomes one of the disadvantages that you're gonna have to deal with. And then you're pretty much on your own doing these classes, okay? So isolation is another disadvantage that you're gonna have taking online classes. Now, with that being said, this is not to discourage you from using online classes, but just to make sure that you're actually ready when you get started. Again, if you have any questions about online learning, this is something we're going to cover more intensely when you come in for your counseling, but I just wanted to get together with you as a group so we can just let you know real briefly some of the disadvantages and advantages of online learning, okay? Any questions? No? Great. All right, we're going to get started on WebTA policies and procedure training. Thank you very much for your time.